not. Even so. Just as we're hardwired to express our emotions in our faces, so we're hardwired to receive them from other people, loud and clear. We don't even have to think about it. We can just feel it. And evolving this instinct to empathize with others gave our ancestors a huge advantage. Watching these actors' faces, we sense what they're going through, without having to be put in the same situation ourselves. Empathy is a highly effective but very primitive form of communication. But it doesn't stop there. Some scientists believe that empathy was the forerunner of another human instinct, the instinct for language. Just like the cinema, early communication was wordless. And like the movies, we took a great leap forward when we evolved talkies.
Now you know everything.
We'll start all over, together.
Our ability to communicate through language is the most sophisticated instinct we possess, and it's inbuilt in every one of us. Nine months ago, Jasper was just a tiny screaming infant. He relied on his survival instincts to make sure he got all the attention he needed. Love, care, comfort, and of course, food. Now, another instinct is causing something remarkable to happen. Jasper is making his very first attempts to talk. In less than a year, he has already mastered the full range of vowel sounds of his native tongue. Children have an instinct for language. They acquire it with barely any effort. In a few short years, Jasper will be as fluent as these 4-year-olds. Every culture throughout the world communicates through speech. Our instinct for language put our species in the fast lane. As Jasper grows and learns to talk, he'll be able to share his experiences. And like his far-distant ancestors, he'll exchange new ideas, convey the past, and mold the future. Thanks to our instinct for language, young Jasper will access the wisdom of generations. The accumulated knowledge of the human race means that we are all standing on the shoulders of giants. Language has helped us explore our planet and beyond. But this isn't the end of the story. We're not slaves to our instincts. As human beings, we learn, we reason, and we choose. Until September the 11th, 2001, Mike Benfanti and John Sakira were regular office workers. But on that day, they struggled with conflicting instincts and a series of life and death decisions, but still found the courage to help someone in great danger. Tina Hansen was working as usual on the 68th floor of the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
In 1 second, my life was normal, and in the very next second, the building behaved in a way that I had never felt before.
Up on the 81st floor, Mike and John were just below the point of impact.
I guess it felt like an earthquake, and I saw flames shoot down from above and debris falling.
We looked out the window and saw some pretty horrible things, saw some, I guess, maybe some bodies and clothes and things.
Containing rising panic, Mike and John began to evacuate down the fire escape. On their way down, they came across Tina and 2 others in an empty office, struggling with Tina's emergency wheelchair.
All of a sudden, this guy started banging on the front door.
I looked behind the glass doors, and there were these women just standing there, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. You got to get moving here.
They'd never met Tina before, but could see she needed help. Mike and John decided to carry her down the 68 floors to safety.
There was no hesitation on their part. They didn't even seem to think twice about it.
Putting aside their own need to escape, Mike and John chose instead to help Tina and get her out of danger.
You don't know what's going through your mind. You're not thinking, okay, I'm going to be carrying this person down 68 flights. It was just instinct. I mean, it was just reaction.
Mike and John carried Tina down flight after flight. Then, almost an hour into the grueling descent, a fireman offered them a chance to leave Tina at an evacuation station on the 18th floor.
My first reaction was to agree to that. But before I could get the words out of my mouth, Michael said, no, we've come this far, we're going to take it all the way.
I looked at John, and John looked at me, and he's like, all right, let's, we're not letting go. And we did it.
I went along with his instinct, even though mine was different. I would have waited on the 18th floor. And I probably would not have gotten out in time.
As they descended, falling debris had blocked the stairwell, and the lights failed, plunging everything into darkness.
But we couldn't see where we were going. And then we'd have to move this debris and pick her up and carry her over. And we'd go one way and there was no way out. We'd go another way, we couldn't get out. And now panic is starting to set in more and people are becoming more frantic.
It was almost like you were staring death right in the face. But even at that point, not knowing if we were going to get out, there still wasn't the option in my mind to leave Tina.
After battling for over an hour, they finally made their way out of the building just in time. Tina was driven away in an ambulance to safety only 2 minutes before the North Tower collapsed.
I was just so relieved. I was so grateful, mostly, to everybody I had met along the way who had just been there for me, even though they didn't know me from Eve,
In the darkest of hours, Mike and John had put their own survival instinct aside and emerged as heroes.
It was amazing because that was probably the worst situation, or the one situation where you can make an excuse to say, okay, I'm just going to think about myself and I don't really have to worry about anybody else. But that's not what happened.
I could have been another victim of other human beings who were carrying out mass murder on that day. But because I was fortunate enough to meet women and men who acted on other impulses, I was not another casualty.
John and Mike were spurred on by the instincts we all share to help others. But their extraordinary heroism reveals a strength of character that instinct alone cannot explain. we've been on a fascinating journey across the world and deep into our past to discover our extraordinary human instincts. What's astonished me is that the urges and drives we've inherited from prehistoric men and women are still such a powerful force in our modern lives. Millions of years of evolution still compel us to survive, to have children, and to compete. And from those same prehistoric roots came instincts that define us as human beings. We've developed instincts for language and for helping others that go far beyond any other animal. Humans are so successful because we have more instincts, not less. And it's our amazing instincts which make us the most extraordinary species on the planet. Human beings.